Thanksgiving at my parents' house was always predictable. Turkey, football, family arguments, and eventually, someone reminding me that I was the disappointment. This year, it happened before dinner. My father tapped his wine glass. "I'd like to make a toast." Everyone looked up. "I'm grateful for my son, Ethan. He worked hard. He built a successful financial career." The room applauded. Then Dad looked at me. "And Emily?" He smiled politely. "Well?" "Some dreams just don't work out." A few awkward laughs echoed through the dining room. My aunt quickly looked away. I smiled. "I'm actually doing all right." Dad chuckled. "Still running that little aviation company?" "It isn't little," I replied. My younger brother laughed. "Come on. You've been saying that for years. If it was successful, we'd all know." More laughter. I quietly picked up my glass of water. Apparently, success only counted if my family approved it. 7 years earlier, I had left a high-paying executive job. Everyone thought I was crazy, especially my parents. Dad said, "People don't quit careers to chase impossible dreams." Mom agreed. "Airplanes are for billionaires, not ordinary people." Maybe they were right. Owning airplanes was impossible. So I never tried to own them. I built something smarter. Instead of buying aircraft, I created a private aviation management company. We didn't sell jets. We managed them. Maintenance, pilots, scheduling, international permits, luxury charter operations. We helped wealthy owners fly without running the business themselves. The industry was quiet, exclusive, almost invisible, exactly how I liked it. The first client owned 1 aircraft. The second owned 3. Eventually, corporate executives, athletes, international investors, even government contractors. Within 6 years, our company managed 32 private jets across North America. Almost nobody recognized our company name. Inside aviation, everyone did. My parents never understood any of it. Whenever someone asked what I did, Mom answered, "Emily works with airplanes." Dad usually laughed. "It's basically a hobby." I stopped explaining years ago. Halfway through Thanksgiving dinner, Ethan smirked. "So, how many airplanes do you actually own?" I smiled. "None." The table erupted in laughter. Dad leaned back proudly. "See? I told you. You can't build a business without owning anything." I quietly replied, "You'd be surprised." Just then, my phone vibrated. It was my chief operations officer. "Urgent. Your client moved tomorrow's departure. He needs the Gulfstream repositioned tonight." I quickly typed back, "Which airport?" The reply came instantly. "Harrison Executive Airfield." I looked out the dining room window. The small executive airport sat less than 2 miles from my parents' neighborhood. I stood. "I'm sorry. I need to leave." Dad frowned. "Business emergency?" "A client." Ethan laughed. "Or another imaginary airplane." The room laughed again. I smiled politely. "Something like that." As I walked toward the driveway, the evening sky suddenly filled with the sound of jet engines. Everyone inside the house turned toward the windows. A sleek white Gulfstream descended slowly toward Harrison Executive Airfield. The aircraft flew directly over my parents' backyard. Its landing lights illuminated the neighborhood. Ethan looked impressed. "Wow. I wonder whose jet that is." Dad laughed. "Definitely not Emily's." I quietly picked up my car keys. Without turning around, I softly said, I'm actually going there now. No one believed me. Not yet. The drive to Harrison Executive Airfield took less than 5 minutes. By the time I arrived, the Gulfstream had already shut down its engines. Ground crews moved efficiently across the ramp. Fuel trucks, baggage carts, pilots completing paperwork. My operations manager waved as soon as he saw me. "Evening, Miss Carter." The client changed tomorrow's schedule. "I heard." He handed me a tablet. "They're flying to Zurich tonight instead." I reviewed the flight plan. "Everything else ready?" "Crews on board. Fuel complete. International clearance approved." I nodded. "Let's get them moving." Back at my parents' house, everyone was still talking about the jet. Ethan laughed. "I wonder what it costs just to own something like that." Dad shook his head. "Probably millions." Mom smiled. "People like us will never understand that world." Just then, Dad's neighbor walked into the backyard. "Did you guys see that jet?" Dad laughed. "Hard to miss." The neighbor smiled. "My cousin works at Harrison Executive. He says that aircraft belongs to Carter Aviation Management." Ethan frowned. "Carter. That's Emily's last name." Everyone laughed. What a coincidence. Meanwhile, inside the executive terminal, a familiar voice called my name. "Emily." I turned around. Mr. Harrison, one of our oldest clients. He smiled warmly. "Thanks for coming personally." My granddaughter's surgery got moved. "We appreciate you rearranging everything." "Of course." "We'll always make family emergencies a priority." He shook my hand. "I've worked with charter companies for 20 years. No one manages aircraft better than your team. That's why every jet I own stays with Carter Aviation." I smiled. "We're grateful for your trust." Just as the passengers boarded, another car pulled into the terminal parking lot. My parents, Ethan, my aunt. Apparently, curiosity had won. Dad stepped out first, then froze. He saw me standing beside the aircraft, talking with the pilots, the line technicians, the flight crew. Everyone greeted me by name. Ethan whispered, "What? What is she doing?" Before anyone could answer, the airport manager walked over. "Miss Carter, the Zurich departure is ready. Would you like to authorize pushback?" I nodded. "Approved." He spoke into his radio. "Operations authorization received." The ground crew immediately began preparing the aircraft. Dad looked completely confused. "Why? Is everyone asking Emily for permission?" The airport manager noticed my family. "Oh, you must be Miss Carter's relatives." He smiled proudly. "She manages one of the largest private aviation companies in the region." Dad blinked. "Manages?" The manager laughed. 32 aircraft. Hundreds of flights every month. Most Fortune 500 executives flying through this airport know her." Silence. Complete silence. Ethan looked at me. "You told us you didn't own any jets." "I don't." "So, why are they calling you?" I smiled gently. "Because owning airplanes isn't my business. Running them is." Mr. Harrison overheard the conversation. He laughed. "I own 3 jets." But if Emily stopped answering my calls, they'd all be sitting on the ground. Everyone chuckled, except my father. Dad slowly walked toward me. "For years, I told everyone your business was a hobby." "I know. I thought success meant owning expensive things." "I know." He looked toward the Gulfstream. "I never imagined you could build an empire without owning the airplanes." I smiled softly. "You taught me something important." I did? Yes. When I couldn't afford to buy something, I learned how to build a business around it instead. Mom quieter wiped away tears. We kept introducing Ethan as our successful child. I know. We never even tried to understand what you actually built. No, you didn't. The captain stepped down the aircraft stairs. Ms. Carter, passengers are ready. I nodded. Safe flight. As the engines slowly came alive, the Gulfstream began taxiing toward the runway. Dad watched silently, not because it was a beautiful airplane, but because, for the first time, he understood the most successful